In this video, I'm going to be showing you what it's like for a guest to RSVP on your website. So right now I'm looking at Hannah and Caleb's website, and let's say that I am Blair trying to RSVP for this wedding. So I've received the invitation, I've clicked through and opened the website, and now I'm here. So I'm going to go ahead and RSVP. So I'm going to click on that button, and now it's asking me, will you be attending our wedding? And I'll confirm both of us. So both Blair and Charles will be attending, so continue. And now we're taken to this screen, which shows the other events that we've been invited to. So Blair has been invited to the bachelorette party, so that's why her name's here. We're going to confirm that. And then Charles has been invited to the bachelor party. So we're going to confirm that. And with the rehearsal dinner, only Charles has been invited because, let's say, he is in the bridal party and he's a groomsman and he needs to go to rehearsal dinner, but Blair isn't invited. So in that case, we're just going to confirm Charles. And the reason why these events are showing is maybe you can take a look at the other video where I'm talking about how to create RSVPs for multiple events. But for this particular couple, they've been invited to these other events. But if there's another guest out there who hasn't been invited to the bachelor or rehearsal dinner, they won't see this page at all. And let's say that someone's only invited to the bachelorette party, that would be the only event that they see. So each one of these events has their own guest list, and with these particular events, I've restricted it so that it's a private event and only guests who are on that guest list will see this particular event showing up so that only they can RSVP, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. So now we're taken to this screen where we're going to be asked a couple questions. And all of these questions that you see here have been created because I created a RSVP questionnaire form where I get a little bit deeper than the traditional "are you coming" or not. So basically, are you attending our wedding, yes or no? We're going a little bit deeper to get a little bit more insight from our guests to help us prepare to make decisions like if I need to hire a shuttle or how big of a shuttle I need to hire and things like that. So first, looking at Charles, as you can see, we are RSVPing for both Blair and Charles, and just to make sure you guys understand, the reason why both of these people are showing up in one RSVP is because they're a part of one household. They're a couple, they live at the same address, we're going to send one invitation to them, and either one of them can RSVP for this wedding. So we're just going to scroll down and continue. And also, just to clarify, all of these questions that you see right here are questions that I've created in the RSVP form, and the only one that is actually going to be a default question is asking them whether or not they have a dietary requirement. And that's really standard. You want to know what kinds of dietary preferences your guests have so that you can relay that information to your caterer, because they are definitely going to want to know. So we're asking our guests, when will they be arriving in town? This is particularly handy if you are having guests coming from overseas. So if you need to hire a shuttle or you want to hang out with them before the wedding date, you can ask this type of question, which is totally not necessary, but if you want to, you can totally add that in there. Which meal option would you like? So we've got 4 different meal options for this particular wedding, and we're just going to choose chicken for Charles. And this third question I'm asking is whether or not I would like to take the shuttle bus to the venue. So the couple has said that they're planning to hire a bus to take everyone to the venue from the Grand Hyatt, which is the hotel that they've booked a room block for. So I'm going to say yes. And this is a question where it's just a bit of fun, asking your guests for song requests. So I've seen a lot of couples do this in the past where they want to get a couple song recommendations so they can pass that information on to their DJ or their band. So we'll just say, just for example. And This is another fun question where there's a bit of a bigger text field, so they could share their best piece of marriage advice with you. Another one of those just for fun questions. It's totally not mandatory. This is one that I've created. So I'm just going to add in okay. And scrolling down, now we can add that information for Blair. So let's say that Blair is a vegetarian. She's also going to be arriving on the same date as Charles, and she's going to pick the vegetarian meal option. She would also like to take the shuttle to the venue, and she wants us to play Happy by Pharrell. Great song. And what's the best piece of marriage advice you've heard? So she might say something like, and this is another question where if you do want to know their physical address to send, let's say, thank you cards, or you want to send out physical stationery, or for any reason you need to know their physical address, this is a perfect place to ask that. So this is another option that you can turn on or off. So in this case, let's just say, okay, and we can finally leave a message for the couple. So once we've entered this information, we can go ahead and complete this RSVP. I also wanted to mention that if a guest does decline your invitation, they won't be asked any of this information because, we don't need to know what meal option that they need. So what's going to happen is they will just go ahead and regretfully decline and continue on to this page, which won't have any of the questions, but the only information that they'll be asked is to leave a message. So that way they just don't decline and then feel like they didn't get to say anything to you. They're going to still want to wish you well on your wedding day and tell you that they're so sorry that they can't be there, but they're sending you all their love. So they'll be able to leave a message for you, which you'll be able to see in your RSVP summary. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this RSVP. So then over on the next screen, this is where the guest will see a summary of the responses that they've given you. So as you can see, Charles has confirmed his attendance to all of the events that he's been invited to. And same with Blair. So she's gone ahead and shared all her responses with you. You've got the household address so that they can review that, and also the message. So once they've submitted this, they can either close the tab and they've completed the RSVP process, or if they have made a mistake by for any reason, they can just click on this edit RSVP button and they'll be taken back to this screen where they can make any changes that's necessary. And that's it. So that's the RSVP process.